Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, President Rodrigo Duterte assures the public again, help is coming, but issues a strong warning to those who are causing trouble amid the COVID-19 crisis. Also, overwhelming public support both off and online for Pasig City Mayor Vico Sotto. The hashtag #ProtectVico is trending on Twitter after the NBI summoned the Pasig City Mayor. We speak with Interior and Local Government Spokesperson and Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya. And later, there are many ways to say thank you. A celebrity chef pays it forward to frontliners by preparing special home-cooked meals. Chef JP Anglo joins us on the show. President Rodrigo Duterte is ordering the military and the police to arrest or shoot those who defy the enhanced community quarantine. The chief executive issued the warning in an unscheduled address last night. He told leftist groups to stop protesting and not to incite violence. His announcement comes after left-leaning group Kadamay allegedly led a protest over the food distribution in Quezon City. Here's the president in his own words.
Kung gusto ninyo ng barilan, di sige. Gusto ninyo ng pukpukan, sige. I will not hesitate. My orders are sa police, pati military, pati mga barangay, na pagkaginulo at nagkaroon ng okasyon na lumaban at ang buhay ninyo ay nalagay sa alanganin, shoot them dead. Tindahan niya, patay. Kaysa maggulo kayo dyan, di ilibing ko na kayo. Ayun, libing akin yan. Huwag ninyo subukan ang gobyerno kasi itong gobyerno na ito hindi inutil.
The National Bureau of Investigations summons Pasig City Mayor Vico Sotto over a supposed violation of a new law to address the COVID-19 crisis. At issue was the mayor's directive to allow tricycles to transport medical frontliners to work. Sotto insists he was only trying to help. Let's go straight to the source of this story. We have Interior and Local Government Spokesperson Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya. Undersecretary Malaya, welcome to the show and thank you for being here. First off, Pasig City Mayor Vico Sotto is being summoned by the NBI for an alleged violation or a possible violation of the Bayanihan Act. Sir, is this, just to be clear, just the issue on what was said to be the continued tricycle operation?
Well, Pinky, first, thank you for having me. Well, on the issue of Mayor Vico Sotto, let me just be clear that this is not a action of the DILG. This is an action of the National Bureau of Investigation. And when this story came out, I immediately talked to our colleagues at the Department of Justice, and immediately Secretary Guevara made a clarification, clearly stating that he does not support the action of the National Bureau of Investigation because on the basis of this alleged violation of the Bayanihan Act was done prior to the passage of the Bayanihan Act. So I think it's very clear already where the DOJ stands. And this is just my personal opinion, Pinky, no? But I think this act of summoning the mayor of Pasig is a useless political distraction at this time when all of us are preparing and all of us operate to defeat the COVID crisis that we are in right now. The mayor of Pasig was already cooperative. At one time, he did allow the tricycles to to operate in Pasig, but upon the request of the DILG, he cooperated. So there's really no issue on insofar as the DILG is concerned now. So we were also as surprised as the public when we heard that the NBI has summoned Mayor Vico Sotto.
So the DILG does not support this. The Department of Justice does not support this. I don't know if you can answer this, Undersecretary, but the NBI is under the DOJ. Did they just act on their own?
Well, I think the DOJ secretary already made his position clear. So I think that that clarifies where they stand. So I don't want to add any more to the discussion because it's not really the position of the DILG. It was not the Philippine National Police that issued the subpoena. It was not the DILG that summoned Mayor because it was an act of the NBI. And I think we should take our cue from the Department of Justice.
Okay, but the reason the DILG also comes into play here, Undersecretary, is because when the NBI was being asked about this and questions were raised on why Senator Coco Pimentel is not being questioned or summoned by the NBI, they were quoted to have said that the president's orders was to look into violations of local government officials, which obviously falls under the DILG. So clearly, sir, it's not something you support. It's not something the Department of Justice supports. So I just want to bring this in just for context, sir. I hope you don't mind that the Pasig City Mayor was saying this. In fact, you had also mentioned this, that the Bayanihan Act was enacted sometime in March 24, and the issue of the tricycles came sometime March 18 or March 19. That's about a week before the enactment of the law. Let's just listen to what Mayor Vico Sotto said.
Malinaw naman po na wala kaming ginawang paglabag sa batas na yun. In fact, it didn't even exist during the time of the issue. And even if we talk about that issue, hindi naman masama magbigay ng opinion eh. Ako po'y nanawagan nung panahon na yun, March 18. Pero kahit na nagbigay po ako ng opinion ko, hindi naman po illegal, hindi naman po bawal magbigay ng opinion. At kung ano naman po yung naging sagot nila, ay nirespeto ko po at sumunod po ang Pasig City sa lahat ng direktiba ng nasyonal na pamahalaan.
All right. He said, I just want to bring this into Undersecretary. He said, wala namang masamang magbigay ng opinion. Do you support that?
There was some miscommunication between the DILG and Mayor Vico Sotto at that time, no? So there was a exchange of views at that time, but that has been resolved. In fairness to the mayor, when Secretary Anyo himself made his position clear on the use of tricycles as mass transportation at this time of COVID, and he was explaining that no public transportation, whether it be a tricycle or a bus, should be allowed. Later on, the mayor agreed. The mayor concurred with the position of the DILG. So I think we now consider this as a case closed. No, I don't understand really why the NBI pursued this, but insofar as the Department of Interior and Local Government is concerned, we want to move on. We want to move on from this issue.
Let's move on. Undersecretary, we've seen videos of people yesterday demanding for food and rushing to the streets in Quezon City, begging for food, saying they're hungry, sir. 21 protesters were arrested. How do we prevent? How can you prevent, or the DSWD or the local government units can prevent an issue like this, a situation like this from happening again?
No, Pinky, let me say first that the concerns raised by those groups who protested yesterday in Quezon City are legitimate. And government has heard their pleas. The Quezon City government is now working overtime to be able to give relief goods to those affected by this COVID-19, especially in that area in Barangay Pag-asa. But just to give your viewers a context of this situation, we all know the record of Kadamay. Kadamay, as we all know, is a front organization of the CPP, NPA, NDF. And we know the agenda of these groups, no? And in the beginning of this COVID crisis, the president immediately declared a ceasefire, a unilateral ceasefire with regards to the New People's Army. And Joma Sison immediately repudiated this and said the conditions are not ripe for a ceasefire. And then a few days later, because of the public backlash, Joma Sison had to take a step back, and the CPP-NPA declared its own ceasefire. But immediately later on, uh, government forces were attacked by the NPA, and the Philippine Army soldiers who were attacked were really on a COVID response
Okay.
mission. So this really puts into perspective the agenda of the left groups. Um, and when they
Okay.
organized this protest in Quezon City, we now see the agenda. No? There's a political agenda behind to agitate, arouse, and mobilize the people. So let's put this into perspective. Government recognizes the legitimate concerns of the residents. We're acting on it, but I hope that the public will also realize that this action is not remote. It's not isolated. We also have reports coming from various parts of Metro Manila of leftist groups agitating the masses to conduct protest actions. And I hope they will stop, because I think the president already made clear the position of government in this regard.
Yeah. Yeah, but if the situation is so, Undersecretary, that there are people or groups agitating the public to do this, what can government do to be able to prevent this from happening? Just to begin with, agitating the public, because even if you look around, sir, on social media, you would see some areas with placards saying, wala pa kaming pagkain, wala pa kaming relief goods, gugutom na kami. Whether, let's say, that is influenced by a group or not, sir, I don't think you can hide the fact that we can stay away from the fact that there are people who are going hungry.
Yes, which is why, Pinky, I said it's a legitimate concern. And we are now launching tomorrow the biggest financial assistance package to poor families in the history of the Republic of the Philippines. This has not been done before. I don't know if it will be done again. Around 200 billion pesos in assistance will be given starting tomorrow. And we have coordinated already with mayors Yorme, no, Isko Moreno of Manila, so that we can do the first wave in Manila tomorrow.
Okay.
So the president was right when he said that help is coming. But please, to the leftist groups, no, do not take advantage of the situation, because we all know their agenda, and they want to take advantage of this situation to undermine government and to create social upheaval. And that is something that government cannot allow.
Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya, sir, thank you for your time and stay well, sir.
Thank you.
Frontliners are taking care of us, but who is taking care of them? A celebrity chef and his wife leads an initiative in feeding our frontliners. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Authorities continue to remind the public to stay home, wash their hands, and practice social distancing. The COVID-19 death toll in the country is now 96. The health department reported 8 more patients died, among them medical frontliners and a town vice mayor in Rizal. 227 more people were diagnosed with the coronavirus. We continue to thank frontliners who are risking their lives to fight the coronavirus, their doctors, nurses, and other hospital staff who are caring for patients. There are also the men in uniform, the military, and the police who are helping enforce the community quarantine in Metro Manila. Then there are the security guards and the people who clean our surroundings. Private groups and individuals are now taking steps to show their gratitude. One of them is leading the effort to feed our frontliners. Let's go straight to the sources of this story. We have Chef JP Anglo and his wife Camille from the group Frontline Feeders Philippines. Chef JP and Camille, welcome to the show. So I'm going to start with this. I know that this initiative began with your wife, Camille. She thought about this. So Camille, let me ask you first. Well, first of all, good job to both of you. Tell us more about the initiative.
It just started actually at home. We were actually just cooking, doing a lot of videos also, but then we started to give first to our building staff who are staying in the building, and then to our neighbors, to the security guards, and then it kind of grew from there. And then we kind of just joined frontline feeders when we met Ross, who lives in our building also. Well, she's been a friend, and then she happens to live in our building. And so that's how we got together with the Frontline Feeders group.
Chef JP, the first meal you prepared was from what I saw on Instagram. Baked tuna, mushroom, and cheese rice. That actually sounds so good. Who were your first customers?
Where did it go?
It went to Makati Med.
Makati Med, yeah. So while we were preparing it, we were tasting it as well. And Camille and I were like smiling, and we were like, oh my God, this reminds us so much of home. You know, it feels like it gives you a hug every time you eat it. So I guess that was the initiative. You know, we wanted them to feel loved, to feel that warmth, to feel that comfort in those stressful environments.
So I take it the cooking is done at home. How big or how small is your team?
Just the two of us. we the
Are you
difficult.
planning to add more people? Because this. Go ahead, Chef JP.
We thought of that, but we want to help flatten the curve, and the less the better. If it's just the two of us, and we're wearing the mask, the gloves, I think we're doing our part in flattening the curve. So I mean, we can take as much as, I guess, at first I said maybe we can just do 50, and then Camille brings out 100 takeaway containers, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. But the difficult part is the cleaning part. Actually, it's not the cooking part. So it took us 2 hours to clean our entire kitchen and to scrub and all that. But it's all good fun, It's all for a good cause.
Camille, how do you choose who would be the ones you would be distributing the food? And is this going to happen every day, and for how long?
Well, it was our first time to cook with the Frontline Feeders yesterday. So they're usually the ones handling the logistics part. Right now, actually, Frontline Feeders is pretty big. When we joined it, there was a big group already. And so we're just handling like the Makati part. And there are a lot of others who are cooking for the other cities as well. Not just Metro Manila.
Very good. For those who may want to help, Chef JP, Camille, how do they go about this?
They can message on Instagram on Frontline Feeders PH. You can donate there. You can also do your part you can donate either money or ingredients. Whatever you can donate will actually go a long way.
Yeah, actually, yesterday, my friend Carlo Lorenzana, he said, "Can I send you sacks of brown rice?" I go, "Sure." And then Mark Sung, he said, "Can I send you 250 pieces of pandesal on Saturday?" And I said, "Sure." So I guess this is gonna be a full-time job now.
Chef JP and Camille, how long are you committed to do this?
You know, as long as it takes, I guess. I mean, we have nothing better to do. We have all the time, and it gives us, you know, it keeps us alive by, you know, by helping. Yeah, so even in like little ways, like, you know, what we do, we have like cans of sardines and tuna in the car. Say, example, I need to go on a grocery run, and I see someone, you know, on the street lying down. I'd actually, you know, leave that
Yeah.
can on the street, and I'd wave to him. I said, "This is for you." And I guess those little things, if we can do those little things, we help each other, you know, in our own little way. And yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a nice feeling to help, you know. I mean, especially now.
Yeah, even if
Chef JP. Camille, go ahead.
even if we're just home, it feels so good that we can actually do something and not just, you know, just sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah, we actually have a schedule, Pinky, of the things to do.
I know that brings some sort of normality. Chef JP and Camille, I just want to say thank you for doing your share, for doing your part in helping our frontliners and helping. We all want to help in our own little way. So to both of you, maraming salamat.
Thank you as well. Maraming salamat din.
All right, so we will be taking a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. Pasig Mayor Vico Sotto has gained support from celebrities, netizens, and even politicians after the National Bureau of Investigation summoned him for an alleged violation of the Bayanihan to Heal as One law. Among those who spoke up is his uncle, Senate President Tito Sotto, who actually authored the law. Sotto says violations cannot be retroactive. Celebrities like Angel Locsin, Kim Chu, Angelica Panganiban, Bianca Gonzalez, Jody Santamaria, Julian San Jose, and Jaja Padilla also defended the young mayor. The hashtag #ProtectVico was a top trending topic on Twitter worldwide on Wednesday. And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. Keep it here on CNN Philippines for news you can trust.